Hey guys, this is Heretic, and it is Sunday, June 20th, 2021, and this is the Guide to Statistics, Part 4, Research, Alliance Research, and Others. Before we get started, if you're interested in King of Avalon content like this, click the like button on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and also click that little bell while you're at it to be notified when new content is published. We try to publish between 3 and 5 new videos per week. All right, with that, in this video, I will go over combat-related statistics that you can get from research, Alliance Research talents, as well as what you can get from buildings, accolades, titles, and temporary relics. In this video, almost everything is available in Solar with the same exact numbers as what is in Lunar. So it is the closest that we're going to get in any of these stat-related videos. So I will note where there are differences. The differences are only due to what's currently available in Solar. It will be the same whenever we have access to everything. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and start with university research. So go down to university. Within research, you have combat, combat 2, and you also have King's Legion. All of these give combat-related stats. The stats that you get from defense are not very useful at all. I would not expend a lot of resources to raise those. Of course, at the beginning of the game, you're going to focus a lot on your development and economy to get going, because in the long run, that's going to help you a lot. Research is something that I always push people for at the beginning of the game, because items are coming out and they're getting replaced all the time. These will not get replaced. You get these and you're on equal standing right now with anyone else in the kingdom up to a certain level. And so we'll go over that. So let me shift over and just show you the sheet again. And I do have questions from people in comments on the other videos asking for access to the sheet. It's not ready for prime time right now. Once I finish this series, which is this week, I'll be shifting this over to a website, and I'll be doing some testing on it just to make sure that it's 100% accurate. I've also got to keep up with it as new items come out, as well as start for the same thing. I'm going to be doing the same thing in Lunar. So let me show you. I'm going to go over to research. For Combat 1, you will not have any troop-related stat bonuses. Everything will be your middle stats, and you can get up to 45 in each, and I can show you those here. So if you go through, you get 3%. That's in 1. You go over to 2. You'll get another 6%. That's 9 total. Then you go over to 3. You get another 12. That's 21 total. You go over to 4. That's 12 more, so 21 and 12, you get 33. And then in 4, you get another 12, which gets you to 45 for each of your middle stats. So that's what you can get from Combat 1. This is what you do between level 1 and 25. At level 26, at SH level, Stronghold level 26, you get access to Combat 2. Shift over here. In Combat 2, you have access to troop stats. You'll get 20 of each, and you can get up to 75 each of the middle stats. So we'll take a look at those. So here you start getting your troop attack, your troop defense, get 8 there. And you go further along and you get more. Get another 12 here. That gives you 20. Right. Same thing with your combat stats as you go through. You have the level 1 that will give you 21. And here, when you get to combat 2, the biggest thing you're going to notice is the amount of resources necessary to actually raise these up. It's really high. So you can see here, that's not too bad. But when you get up a little bit higher, it's pretty expensive. So you get into the hundreds. Well, here, as you go up in it. Okay. The other place in university research where you can get combat stats, you'll get in the King's Legion. You get access to the King's Legion area at Stronghold level 31. And the requirements go up in this one, up to 45. So this is, these are theoretical maximums that you can get of some of these combat-related stats. You can get up to 105 of your infantry attack, cav attack, and bowman attack. So this is all from the regular research. The theoretical maximums of research are 20 to your troop stats, 225 to your attack stats, and 120 to your other stats, to your defense and your health from research. All right, so that's research. The other research that people always forget about, especially me, is in your alliance. And I'm in my farm alliance now, so don't look at where we are. In research, in your combat section, you have access to damage. And I'm not going to go over damage modifying stats in these first videos. I'm going to do that later as a special video to show you where you can get the maximum of your damage related stats, your modifying stats. But your combat related stats, there's quite a bit in here. And at the beginning when you're looking at this, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up quickly. You get 10 there. You go into the number 2s and you get 30 there. I mean, and this is just stuff that you do, normally. Another 60 here. So there's 100 for your middle stats. And so on Alliance research, you can get 50 to your troop stats and 100 to all of your middle stats. So that's great. That's more than, more troop stats than you can actually get from your regular research, and pretty close to what you can get in all of the other researches where you're spending tons of resources to rank up your regular research. So don't knock the Alliance research stats that you can get. So that's Alliance research. Okay, so now let's take a look at talents. Talents you get from Lord power. You'll rank up your Lord level here. Here you can see the experience needed to get to the next level. All right, so let's take a look at talents and what you can get from those. So if I go to talents, the totals that you can get are 10 to your troop stats and 25 to your middle stats. So all of these little things add up. And this is, you get Lord from killing mobs, from just raising up your buildings. You get your Lord experience from a lot of different things, from rewards, from all kinds of different things. So you get those just naturally playing the game without having to go crazy, spending or anything. So these are what I would consider kind of free stats. And eventually you'll max out all that you can get from the combat talents. And you can see these here. You go through and use them as you put priorities where you need them. I always prioritize troop stats, then infantry, defense, and health, then bow attack, and then my cav attack and cav defense. Those are my big priorities. In here, you'll want to get your march capacity up, and these specials that you get, like Colossal March, are really important. And the most important stat thing that you can get in here, talent, is the Life Preserver. And this one converts 30% of the troops that would have been killed in an attack to wounded until your hospitals are full. And that's an excellent one. And then, of course, your troop attacks at the end, your troop stats at the end. All right, so that's your talents. So let's take a look at accolades. And here's where there's a slight difference. And the difference is only that we don't have access to the labyrinth. And in the labyrinth, in Lunar, you're able to get damage modifying accolades, frames, that you can use. So just real quick, the way that these accolades, these frames work is once they're activated, you can total them up. In a previous version of King of Avalon, you actually had a little button up here that would give you your total. But you can test it out, absolutely test it out. If you have several activated, you'll see that they stack. So if you have troop attack here and troop defense, if this one was activated, I would get troop defense +5 and troop attack +5. And if you have 20 of them, a lot of people have more than that in Lunar. They stack. So they just keep adding up and adding up and adding up. You can also buy this one, which will give you 10 to each troop. It's great. And you can get accolades from, and you can see what you can get here. Again, I'm in Solar. These are, and by the way, all of these accolades in Solar have the exact same numbers as what you have in Lunar. And I didn't mention that with Alliance research, your university research are exactly the same as in Lunar. The points and the potential are exactly the same all the way through. Same thing with talents, exactly the same. Okay, so these are the ones you have access to. So if you go through and you're gathering resources, and by the way, a little tip here, your food, and I believe wood as well, if you're plundering it off of someone, it actually counts as gathering, because I rarely gather. And if you get 5-star here, you would get this accolade that would give you an additional +5 troop defense. Well wishes, just making a ton of well wishes. You can get another +5 once you get to 5-star. You can go down here and see which ones are potentially available. I received this one from just regular plundering. And that's all different types of resources. Right? So this is what we have available right now in Solar. You have more available in Lunar. And you get in every Lunar kingdom is a little bit different too. So the longer your Lunar kingdom has been around, the more accolades you have access to. So they have all of these events for Christmas, Halloween, other holidays, other just random events, anniversary events, and all of those, most of those, in the past at least, had access to frames that would actually give you some stat increases. All right. Also, you do have in the arena, if you're able to get to the end of the arena, there are some decent rewards here that give you here. So you'd be able to get this. I'm not sure. I think in Lunar that this actually gave a stat bonus, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just a visual effect. It could just be a visual effect. Same thing, Fire Lens gives a really cool visual effect accolade. So that is Accolades. So now I'm going to go over some of the other places you can get combat-related stats from. Okay, so one of them is your actual city buffs. So within here, you'll see defense and attack. These are troop attack and troop defense. So on troop defense, you can get up to 50. I don't have that one, but it's usually an award that you can get for spending, or it'll actually be a reward for some events. We'll give it. And some spins and some other places. There's several different places you can get the reward, the 50%. Same goes for troop attack. And I might even have that one as a reward. Yes, I actually have the 50% for the attack, and I save that for special moments. Okay, so there's a potential 50 to troop attack and 50 to troop defense just from your city buffs. So that's one place. And those are the same, again, same lunar as solar. So, yeah, it's a theme for this video. Everything applies to both. The other place you can get some stats, get them here in your VIP. You can get up to 15 of your troop stats. So don't knock it. It's worth it. Definitely worth it. All these things add up, and they add up quite a bit. All right. The other place you can get stats, again, exactly the same lunar. All of these, everything, just assume it's the same in lunar as it is in solar. If you look here in your buildings and you go to more info, starting at level 31, you'll start getting 5% to your infantry health. And it doesn't stack each time. You get 5% from then on to infantry health. So that's stays. And then at 41, you start getting damage modifying stats. And we're not going to go through that right now, but just be aware that they're there. Same thing goes for your other troop buildings. When you go down here to your cav, for example, you get cav attack. Then you'll eventually get the damage modifying stats at 41. Same for your bow. You get 5% attack, and then you'll eventually start getting your damage modifying. So you'll notice that that's the big thing that you get from going from 40 to 41, 42, 43. You're not getting a new troop between, in these levels, but you start getting these damage stats, modifying stats, and they grow pretty quickly. And you also get, in addition to that, from every level, you get march capacity increases. Okay, so that's from your buildings. Okay, other places are your titles. So let me go over to Avalon. And if you look at titles, you have access to, within titles, 10 troop attack and 10 troop health. So there's another one that gives troop health. So, you can't have both of those, but you could have one of them. In relics, so here in relics that you can get up to 25 of each if you're both if you're the king and if you have your blade. You can get up to 25 troop attack, troop defense, troop health. The other ones give, and as well as, the other relics give you other things like wounded conversion, troop march speed, things like that. They're not going to give you stat bonuses. The king, sword that you get from having the crown will also give you some city army attack and damage modifying stats. And that's the most important part of being a king, honestly. All right, so as far as combat-related stats, I've gone over everything except dragon stats. And dragon stats are coming in the next video. And those stats will include your draconic stones, the stats you get from those, and what you get from skills, and what you get from the natural kind of evolution of your dragon, which is both evolving it and just normal nurturing growing. Okay? All right. Take care.